Good morning, students. So today let us start a new topic, that is chemical kinetics. So chemical kinetics is the topic which is related to speed of the reactions. So based upon the speed of the reactions, we are having different types of reactions. The first one is fast reactions. Fast reactions. So the reactions which can be completed within fraction of seconds. The reactions which can be completed in fraction of seconds, they are called as fast reactions. So here, generally the reactions like precipitation reactions, like in your lab when you are testing or when you are when you are doing the confirmatory test for chloride ion, you'll be adding the chloride salt solution. To that, you will be adding AgNO3 solution. As you are adding AgNO3 solution, you can see that immediately you will be getting a curdy white precipitate of silver chloride. So this reaction is a fast reaction. In the same way, neutralization reactions. Neutralization reactions. Neutralization reactions means the reactions in which an acid will be reacting with a base. For example, when HCl, which is an acid, is reacting with a sodium hydroxide, which is a base, produces sodium chloride, that is salt, and water. This reaction is the best example for neutralization reaction, which also goes very fast. So the reactions in which the reaction will be completed in fraction of seconds is called as fast reactions. And then the second type is moderate reactions. Generally, chemical kinetics will be dealing with about this reactions, that is moderate reactions, where the speed will be little bit less. So generally, decomposition reactions, we will be learning in this moderate reactions, decomposition reactions. For example, when hydrogen peroxide is decomposed, you can see that it will be decomposed into water and oxygen gas. So this reaction is a moderate reaction because it is little bit slow when compared to fast reactions. In the same way, nitrogen pentoxide, when it is decomposed, it is producing N2O4 and oxygen. So here this is also a moderate reaction in which you can see that reaction takes place with moderate speed. Then we are having the third type of reactions, that is the third type of reaction, that is slow reactions. Slow reactions. So the reactions which are slow in their production of the products will be called as slow reaction. For example, rusting of iron. Rusting of iron. In this, when iron is subjected to rusting, you can see that it is producing ferric oxide, which is hydrated, which is producing ferric oxide which is hydrated. You can see here when iron is exposed to air, with moisture, you can see that it is producing ferric oxide. That is hydrated ferric oxide, which is called as rust. This is a slow process. So like this, the types of reactions are three types. That is based upon the speed of the reactions. They are of three types. Fast reactions. In fast reactions, we are learning about precipitation reactions and neutralization reactions. Precipitation reactions, where you can see that when different ions are reacting with each other, or exchange of ions will be taking place, such that precipitate is produced. In the same way, neutralization, when acids are reacting with bases, they are producing salt and water. This is also a precipitation reaction, or neutralization reaction, sorry, which is a fast reaction. Then coming to moderate reactions, generally decomposition reactions will be learning in this moderate reactions, where the speed will be little bit less. For that, we had seen the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide and nitrogen pentoxide. The same way, we are having the third type, that is the slow reactions, in which rusting of iron we had studied. So these reactions are giving us examples how the reactions can be classified into fast reactions, moderate reactions, and slow reactions. Now, let us see a physics term called as velocity. We had studied about velocity in physics. What is velocity? Velocity is defined as rate of change in displacement. Rate of change in displacement. That means velocity is formulated as velocity is equal to change in displacement. Change in displacement by time taken. Change in displacement by time taken. Which will be showing it as a dx by dt, where dx is a small change in displacement by dt is a time taken for it. A small change in displacement by time taken. And you know that based upon the units you are taking for the displacement, it can be meters per second or centimeters per second or hours per second, sorry, kilometers per second. Like this, we are having different units for velocity. This is velocity, which is the term used you are learning in physics. Here in chemistry, with respect to speed of the reactions, we'll be learning, or we'll be seeing a new term called as rate of reaction. Rate of reaction. This you had studied in your first year, chemical equilibrium also. Chemical equilibrium also. So what is rate of reaction? Rate of reaction means the rate of change in concentration. Change in concentration of the reactants or products. The rate of change in concentration of reactants or products is called as rate of reaction. The rate of change in concentration of the reactants or the products is called as rate of reaction. Here, rate of reaction is equal to, rate of reaction is equal to, so same as your velocity of your physics. Here we are learning about rate of reaction. That is, rate of reaction is equal to change in concentration. Change in concentration by time taken. 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 So now here, what is change in concentration? So the change in concentration can be with respect to reactants and with respect to products also. So in a reaction, you know that we will be having reactants react with each other. Reactants react with each other to produce products. Reactants react with each other to produce products. Here, always, so let us see what are the things happening in a reaction. In a reaction, always, you can see that the concentration of the reactants goes on decreasing and concentration of the products goes on increasing while the reaction is taking place. While the reaction is taking place, concentration of the reactants will be decreasing, concentration of the products will be increasing. So here, concentration of reactants gives rise to products. So when we are taking R is giving rise to P. Here R is the reactants, gives rise to P. Now let us see about a concentration of R. We will be showing it in square brackets. Here the square brackets is nothing but molar concentration of reactants. Molar concentration of reactants. And if I am taking square brackets for P, then it is molar concentration of products. So here the square brackets denotes the molar concentration. When we are speaking about the reactants, it is the molar concentration of the reactants. And when we are speaking about the products, it is a molar concentration of the products. So here, while a reaction is taking place, the molar concentration of the reactants decreases and molar concentration of the products increases. Molar concentration of the products increases. Let us see. Now, same as the formula we are using for velocity. What is the formula we are using for velocity? That is change in displacement by time taken. For rate of reaction is also change in concentration by time taken. So now when we are speaking with respect to reactants, so rate of reaction, which I am denoting it as a small r, is equal to decrease in concentration of, or so instead of change in concentration, I am using decrease in concentration of reactants. Decrease in concentration of reactants. Always when I am using square brackets, it denotes the molar concentration. Decrease in concentration of reactants by time taken. In the same way, rate of reaction can also be formulated as increase in concentration of products by time taken. Increase in concentration of products by time taken. So with respect to reactants, rate of reaction is equal to decrease in concentration by time taken. With respect to products, it is a increase in concentration of products by time taken. Because here always when we are taking a reaction into consideration, reactants concentration will be decreasing, products concentration will be increasing. Now, here we are using the word decrease and here we are using increase based upon the process what is going on. So with respect to reactants, concentration is going on decreasing. With respect to products, concentration is going on increasing. But how to differentiate whether we are speaking about reactants or products? So that is why whenever we are writing rate of reaction with respect to products, with respect to reactants, we are using minus delta R by delta T, or rate is equal to minus dr by dt. Here delta shows us it is change in concentration of the reactants. Small d shows that it is a small change in concentration of the reactants. So here how to speak about these things. Rate is equal to change in concentration of reactants by time taken, or rate of reaction is equal to small change in concentration of reactants by time taken. But here, why we are using the negative sign, a minus sign we are using here. This minus sign denotes that there is a decrease in the concentration of the reactants. Decrease in the concentration of the reactants. So here, to specify, we are speaking about reactants or the products. We are using this minus sign or plus sign. Minus sign says that there is a decrease in the concentration of reactants by time taken. This is a small decrease in the concentration of the reactants by time taken. In the same way, with respect to products, plus delta P by delta T, or R is equal to plus small d P by dt. Here, the plus sign says that decrease in concentration of reactants by time taken. A small decrease in concentration of reactants by time taken. With respect to products, increase in concentration of products by time taken, or a small increase in concentration of products by time taken. This is a formula for rate of reaction with respect to reactants and products. So here one more thing you have to remember, the negative sign and positive sign, the minus sign and plus sign only represents the decrease in concentration of reactants and increase in concentration of products respectively, but it does not have any mathematical value. Does not represent any mathematical value. Now, let us see the graphical representation of how we are going to graphically represent a rate of reaction with respect to reactants and then with respect to products also. Here, I am taking a hypothetical reaction where reactants are reacting to produce the products. Here, R represents the reactants and P represents the products. Now, I'm plotting a graph. On the x-axis, I'm taking time. And on the y-axis, I am taking concentration of reactants, increase in concentration of the reactants. So concentration of the reactants is increasing like this. This is the increase in time. Now, this is R naught. R naught represents initial concentration. R naught represents initial concentration. Initial concentration. Now, as the reaction is proceeding, we had discussed that concentration of the reactants goes on decreasing. The concentration of the reactant will be decreasing. So here, as the reaction is proceeding, you can see that the concentration of the reactant is going on decreasing like this. This graph clearly shows that how the concentration of the reactant is decreasing as the time is going on. Now, let us think that this is the point where I am taking here as initial concentration. So the concentration I am taking here. This is concentration of the reactant at T1 time. When the time is T1, the concentration of the reactant is R1. In the same way, this is concentration at T2 time. When the time is T2, the concentration is R2. When the time is T1, concentration is R1. Now, in this, as the concentration is going on decreasing here, the concentration is, so that is to say that R2 is less than that of R1. Will you agree with me? Since concentration is decreasing, R2 will be less than that of R1. R2 will be less than that of R1. Now, here, now if I want to calculate the rate of reaction, the formula, rate of reaction is equal to minus change in concentration of the reactants by time taken. Change in concentration of the reactants by time taken, which is equal to minus R2 minus R1 by T2 minus T1. T2 minus T1. Now, a small thing you have to remember here. Here, this minus sign we are using to say that, to specify that there is a decrease in concentration of the reactant. Now, when R2 is a smaller value and R1 is a larger value, this difference you will be getting the negative value. Am I right or not? When R2 is a small value and R1 is a larger value, that this difference you will be getting the value as negative value. Negative value into minus, you will be getting positive. That is to say that rate of reaction will be always a positive value. Velocity will be always a positive value. There is no chance of negative value here. To see that always it is a positive value, we are taking this minus here to show that it is decrease in concentration. Here we are going to get a negative value because always concentration of the reactant goes on decreasing. So R2 minus R1 will be a negative value. So minus value, minus into minus plus value. So you'll be getting rate of the reaction as a positive value. Positive value. I hope I am clear. Now, here we are taking the delta value, that is to say that a change in concentration by time taken. Now, when we want to go for a particular time, for example, a particular time I am taking as a t, At this particular time, I want to know the rate of reaction. So particular time rate of reaction is called as instantaneous rate of reaction. At a particular instant, if you are taking rate of reaction, then it is called as instantaneous rate of reaction. Instantaneous rate of reaction, which generally will be showing it as a minus dx by dt. But here, let us, so why it is minus dx by dt, let us see here. We can prove it here. So for that, I am drawing a tangent. I am drawing a tangent here. So here, this tangent, here this is dr, and this is dt. So opposite side by adjacent side, opposite side by adjacent, dr by dt. And here it is showing a negative slope, so minus dr by dt. So minus dr by dt will be giving us rate, that is instantaneous rate of reaction. Instantaneous rate of reaction. Here on the screen also you can see the graph representing the same thing. Graph representing the same thing. How average rate of reaction we are calculating. How the average rate of reaction we are calculating, and how we are calculating the instantaneous rate of reaction by using the graph. Now, the same thing let us learn with respect to products also. So we are considering a reaction, a hypothetical reaction where reactants are reacting to produce the products. So here also you can see that we are speaking about concentration of the products and time taken. So when I am plotting a graph, I am taking time on x-axis, increase of time on x-axis, increase of concentration of the products, increase of concentration of the products on y-axis. As you know that the concentration of the products goes on increasing in a reaction. As the reaction is proceeding, you can see that the concentration of the products goes on increasing. So here you can see the concentration of the products goes on increasing here. Now, let us think that this is the concentration of the product P1 at when the time is T1. At T1 time, let the concentration of the product is P1. And let us think that this is concentration of the product P2 at T2 time. At T2 time. Now, concentration of the product equal to P2, that is final concentration by initial concentration. So at T1 temperature it is P1. So it is, and at T2 temperature it is P2. So P2 minus P1. And always you know that here one thing you have to remember, that is P2 will be greater than that of P1. Why P2 is greater than that of P1? Because in a reaction, when the reaction is proceeding, you can see that concentration of the product is greater than that of P1. Greater, or concentration of the product is increasing. So automatically at T2 time, you can see that concentration of the product will be more. So P2 is greater than that of P1. And T is equal to T2 minus T1. So therefore, a rate of reaction or average rate of reaction is equal to P2 minus P1 by T2 minus T1, which is equal to delta P by delta T. And this is a positive value because plus sign says that increase in concentration, because we are speaking about the products. At the same time, here this is also a positive value because T2 is more than that of P1. You'll be getting positive. And here also rate of reaction will be a positive value only. Now, when I am checking with respect to a small change in concentration at a particular time. So here I am taking the tangent at this particular time. Let us think that it is T. So here R is equal to dP by dt or plus dP by dt, because dP is a small change in concentration or small increase in concentration of products by dt, that is time taken. This is the graphical representation which is representing the rate of reaction with respect to products. So now, please note down this problem. Please note down this problem. From the concentration of C4H9Cl, which is nothing but butyl chloride, at different times given below, calculate the average rate of the reaction. Calculate the average rate of reaction during different time intervals of the time. They had given you the equation there. C4H9Cl plus H2O gives rise to C4H9OH plus HCl. Please take down the table also. ఉందమ్మా అక్కడ లేదు. See on the board, you can see the table given to us, and they are asking us, the first thing they are asking us to calculate is average rate of reaction. So average rate of reaction is equal to, with respect to C4H9Cl. C4H9Cl is the reactant. C4H9Cl is the reactant. And C4H9OH is the product. Here we are given concentration of butyl chloride at different time intervals. Concentration of butyl chloride at different time intervals. So since C4H9Cl is a reactant, then the formula for it one is for average rate of reaction. Average rate of reaction R is equal to minus. Why we are taking minus here? Because it is with respect to reactants. In a reaction, concentration of the reactants always decreases. So we are taking minus sign here. R2, concentration. That is R2 is the concentration of the reactant at T2 time. R1 is the concentration at T1 time. This is the formula we are having. Now, here for our understanding, I'm taking 0 and 100 at 0 time and 100 seconds of time. That is, T1 is 0 seconds. T2 is 100 seconds. For our convenience, I'm taking like that. Then at T1 time, the concentration is, that is R1 equal to 0.1 moles per liter. Capital M means moles per liter or molar. In the same way, at T2 time, that is 100 seconds, at 100 seconds, the concentration is 0.082 molar, that is moles per liter. So automatically now average rate is equal to minus 0.082 minus 0.1 by 100 minus 0. So what is 0.082 minus 0.1? What is 0.082 minus 0.1? 0.018 minus 0.0818 by 100. So minus minus gets, it is going to be plus. So 0.018 by 100 equal to 1.8 into 10 to the power of minus 4 moles per liter per second. Why? Because the units of concentration is moles per liter. The units of time is seconds. So that is why it is 1.8 into 10 to the power of minus 4 moles per liter per second. Is it clear, ma? Now, let us change T1 and T2 values followed by R1 and R2 values. Let us calculate average velocity at different values now. Here, let us take T1 as 100 seconds. T2 as 200 seconds. For our convenience, I am taking here. At 100 seconds, the concentration of butyl chloride is 0.0821 moles per liter. 0.082 moles per liter. At 200 seconds, the concentration is 0.0671 moles per liter. So therefore, average rate R is equal to minus delta R by delta T. That is equal to minus R2 minus R1 by T2 minus T1. That is equal to minus 0.0671 minus 0.082 by 200 minus 100. What is this value, ma? 0.0671 minus 0.082? 0.01 1.0149 by 100, which is equal to 0.0149 by 100 is equal to 1.49 into 10 to the power of minus 4 moles per liter per second. Moles per liter per second. Moles per liter per second is the units of rate of reaction. Six. So I'm showing you the table on the screen where I had calculated the average velocities by taking different T1 and T2 values respectively with R1 and R2 values also, and calculated the average rate of the reactions. Calculated the average rate of the reactions. So now I'm displaying another graph for you to calculate the instantaneous rate of reaction. Instantaneous rate of reaction by plotting a graph and taking the tangent here. So instantaneous rate of reaction at 600 seconds I am taking here and plotting a tangent there where R1 value is 0.037. Graphically, the R1 value is 0.037 at 400 seconds. R2 value is 0.0165 at 800 seconds. So this is graphically we are taking this one. 0.037, that is R1 value at 400 seconds. R2 value is 0.0165 at T2 value, that is 800 seconds. T2 is 800. So here you can see at 400 seconds, R1 value is 0.037 molar. At 800 seconds, it is 0.0165 molar. So automatically, when you are asked to calculate the rate of reaction, that is the instantaneous rate of reaction, R is equal to minus dr by dt, where minus R2 minus R1 by T2 minus T1. So R2 is 0.0165 minus 0.037 by 800 minus 400. What is this value, ma? 0.0205 by 5 point into minus 5 moles per liter per second. So this is the instantaneous rate of reaction. So let us continue this class tomorrow.